Bry's Comics.
You know what time it is. It's time for a flash sale. Use code FLASH15 for 15% off everything in stock at bryscomics.com. And guys, I'm adding a new section to the website called Big Boy Books, where I post stuff from my personal collection, higher dollar items, things like that. So pay attention to these flash sales because it could be a really good opportunity to pick up a big boy book. Enjoy the show. We got another CGC unboxing today, and this one is an absolute roller coaster. I've got some incredibly exciting, really awesome slabs that came back, and I have the most devastating, the most heartbreaking event of my comic book collecting career. I'm not exaggerating. I am guttered over this little turn of events that happened. I'll get to the bad news one at the end, and we'll start out on a positive note with some of this awesome CGC goodness. So let's see what we got. First off, we have The Last Ronin #1, the black and white Miko Suion cover. This is just one of my favorite Last Ronin #1 covers. I sent in quite a few of these. I have my total Ronin submissions was 25 books. I did a 25 book magazine pre-screen because you need to have at least 25 books for a pre-screen. The majority of them are this, and I was hoping for that 9.9 or that 10, but I did not get any. They all came back 9.8. And also in that batch is Last Ronin #1, the 1 in 10 retailer incentive, which is my preferred incentive cover of all the regular covers. I just really loved the orange colors on this. Just thought this looked really sharp. So I do believe I have 2 or 3 of these. And these have all the Last Ronin #1s have definitely come down in price a little bit. So if you're a fan, you know, it's a great time to pick it up. And then we have the Last Ronin #2. Uh-oh. Yep. Well, we got to send this one back. It's got a little piece of plastic in the case right there on the back. Really disappointing because this is just The Last Ronin #2 cover A. I just needed one more book to fill the 25, and so I threw this one in there. And it does say on here that it is the first full appearance of Casey Marie Jones. It's definitely an awesome cover, but I gotta send this one all the way back because of that little piece of plastic in the case, but nonetheless a cool book. Next up we have Doctor Strange the Punisher Magic Bullet #1. This is just a cover lover book, you guys. This is a Run the Jewels cover homage. Just an epic cover. I almost got sucked into that rabbit hole of collecting all the Run the Jewels covers because there's a bunch of them. That's just all about the cover right there. Next we have Geiger #1. This is the 1 in 25 second print incentive cover. And the reason I got this slab and the reason I ordered it is because when this came out, retailers had to place their orders for the second print before we even got our orders for the first print. And so I thought, well, most retailers aren't going to order second prints until they see if they even sell their first prints. And so I thought there's potential that this would be a really low print run. And if the series took off, that it could definitely be a money book. So definitely a cool book, definitely a cool cover. I think it's about a $30 or $40 book raw. So probably still under $100 for the 9.8. All right, then we have Something Is Killing the Children #1, the 8th print. And this is actually going to go to somebody who already pre-ordered it over on the website. I have pre-orders for this on the website and have a bunch more copies at CGC, and I even have a pre-order 5-pack of these for at the price of $75 each. And I think that's a great opportunity. I think this book, you know, when the show comes out and gets closer, I think this is easily a $150 book. I believe that's the lowest listed price right now is $150, with sales of like $125. I think even one went for $150. So I think this is easily a double up if you get the 5-pack at $75. When the show comes around, I think that's easily a double up for a $150 book. And just an epic cover. If you're Something Is Killing the Children fan, this is definitely one that you have to keep in the PC. Now, this cover is absolutely incredible. The Marvels #1. The Gabriel Del Otto cover. This is why I'm so excited about the House of Slaughter 1 in 1000 that's going to be done by Gabriel Del Otto, because look at this cover art. I mean, he just absolutely kills it. And this book is actually doing really well. It's about $100 to $150 book raw, and there's only one other 9.8 right now on eBay for $500, which I think $500 is definitely a little bit too high. I'm probably going to list it more for around $299. And there is some spec potential behind this as well. It's the first appearance of Kevin Schumer, second cameo appearance of Threadneedle, first cameo appearance of Zorala, a Wakandan, second cameo appearance of Warbird, and the first team appearance of a new Avengers team in Captain America, Arrow, the Human Torch, Golden Age Vision, Black Cat, Iron Man, Storm, Kevin Schumer, and Warbird. So some potential behind it, but none of that even matters. This will definitely always hold value because of the cover. It's an incredibly awesome Gabriel Del Auto cover, and for whatever reason there just aren't a ton of copies of it, so the price is holding steady, and you can never feel bad about owning this in your collection. I mean, just look at it, it's incredible. So super happy to have that. Only one copy of that. All right, this next one is a really good example of how to buy a book raw, get it graded yourself, to churn for profit. However, I'm definitely going to be keeping this in the PC. This is Iron Man number 54 from 1973. And this is the first appearance of Moondragon in Heather Douglas as Madame McEvil. So she appears in this issue for the first time as Madame McEvil, and then later becomes Moondragon in Daredevil number 105. So it's interesting that it says first appearance of Moondragon. I would think it would say first appearance of Madame McEvil later becomes Moondragon, but either way, we know what's going on in this book. It's the first appearance of Madame McEvil, who later becomes Moondragon. And I bought it as an 8.5 for $250. Pressed and cleaned it myself, and I do believe that it's more like $1,000 book in a 9.0. So I'm super happy about that. I'll definitely be keeping this for the PC unless I can upgrade it. I would love to have a copy somewhere between 9.4 and 9.8. So if you know anyone, or if you have a high grade copy of this, let me know. I am interested. And the spec behind this, besides just having an awesome Submariner Iron Man battle cover, there's speculation that Moondragon will appear in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie that's coming out soon. Moondragon would translate beautifully onto the big screen. She's such an awesome character. I would love to see her on the big screen. Some Mighty Avengers number 1, first appearance of Monica Rambeau as Spectrum. This book is totally cold right now. It is totally cooled off, and the reason is it's the Agatha effect that the Pressable Defects talk about over on their channel. People aren't going to believe it until they see it. But as we all know, Monica Rambeau was introduced in WandaVision. She just wasn't given her superhero name. And in the new Marvels movie that's coming out, that it used to be called Captain Marvel 2, now it's The Marvels. It has this exact symbol that is Spectrum symbol, uniquely Spectrum symbol on the movie title card for The Marvels. So it would just be the weirdest turn of events. I'm sure all you guys are sick of hearing me talk about this because I've talked about it so many times. I have a whole video on it. But it's just cold as ice. And it's not just this book. The first appearance of Monica Rambeau is also in a really big lull right now. Why? Because we're not hearing anything about it. And as soon as she comes back, as soon as that movie gets closer, as the trailers get announced, mark my words, like bookmark this video, make yourself a note in your phone. I guarantee, without a doubt, the Monica Rambeau keys are going to see another spike when that trailer is released. So it's just a perfect time to buy this book right now in the lull, and I don't mind getting rid of them inexpensively, because I'd love to see you guys make some sweet coin off of this too. And if I don't sell them and I hold on to them, I'm totally okay with that as well, because I have a lot of faith in that character. Spider-Gwen number 1. This is the first solo series of Spider-Gwen, and this is the Scotty Young variant cover. I do believe I have 4 copies of this right now, and I'm going to lower the price on the site. I think I'll put it at about $79 with the discount. That's a steal. I mean, it's the first solo series of Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen's going to have her day someday. It's definitely not right now, so it's a great time to get in on it. Star Wars Darth Vader number 1. This is the first appearance of the Black Chrysanthemum, which is a Wookiee bounty hunter, and there's speculation that the Wookiee race is going to show up in the next season of The Mandalorian. Cannot wait for that series to come out. Can't come soon enough. And if so, Black Chrysanthemum is a prime candidate to make an appearance in that live action show. So this book is definitely a really hot spec book. As you can see, I have the 1 in 50 version of this over there that's going to stay in my PC. And I do have some of those 1 in 50s coming back from CGC as well, but this is just the regular cover A. Bink! Silk number 2, the 1 in 25 variant by Rose Besh. I do believe this is the second ever Marvel cover that Rose Besh did. That first cover being Spider-Woman number 9, 1 in 25, which just is a fantastic book. But this is just a classic Rose Besh cover. Will go down in history as just one of the best covers for Silk ever. And I only have 1 copy of this because I sold most of these pre-sale. Shadecraft #1. This is the Things from Another World Zoo or Zoo exclusive cover, limited to 500 copies. Now, this comic is actually optioned by Netflix for a TV series. And if they make this into a show, this is going to be the money book for Shadecraft. There's only 2 regular covers. There's cover A and cover B for Shadecraft, and then there's 2 exclusive covers. This one, the Zoo or Zoo from Things from Another World, and then there's a trade and Virgin set from Sanctum Sanctorum Comics. So if they make a show, I mean, there's no incentive covers for this book at all. Just cover A, cover B, and 2 exclusives. And this is limited to 500. The other one is 500 trade, 500 Virgin. If they make a show about it, this book is going to skyrocket. I mean, there's only 500 of them. It's an all black back cover, making it very difficult to get in high grade. Think about supply and demand. I mean, incredibly low supply of the rarest books, and collectors are always going to gravitate towards those rarest books. Of course, if there is a show confirmed, you know, cover A and probably cover B will do really well as well, but this will definitely be the money book. And I do believe I have 5 copies of this that came back 9/8. All right, Something is Killing the Children #2. Now this is, we're going to start getting into the Something is Killing the Children books, which is another one of the sets that I bought. I believe 9 complete sets of Something is Killing the Children, and they're all starting to trickle back in from CGC. So this is issue #2. I have a whole bunch of these. If you follow my channel at all, you know that I have a bunch of this, the cover A and the unlocked retailer variant. And keep an eye on the website because I'm going to start, I'm going to put some up there, I think, as a bundle deal for cover A and the unlocked retailer variant. So this is also, it's the second appearance of Erica Slaughter, the first appearance of Octo, and the first appearance of Tommy Mahoney. And so what we're starting to see, and I mentioned this in another video with the Something is Killing the Children books, is the significance of the books is starting to become more important because as the show gets closer and as they start to announce the characters that are going to be in the show and the actors and actresses that are going to play those characters, and after we see them on screen, it's going to become more and more important about these first appearances. Up until this point, it's been largely based on print run and cover art, and just early Something is Killing the Children books was enough to drive the prices so crazy. But now Key Collector has added a bunch of details about the importance of each book on the app, which is new for like the past week or so. And here we have Something is Killing the Children #2. This is the Black Cape Comics edition, Virgin exclusive cover, limited to 500, comes with the COA. This is the only exclusive cover for #2. The 4th print of cover 2 is limited to about a 800 print run. This is limited to 500, but I would always prefer to have a subsequent print like the 4th print that only had copies ordered of about 800, because those were distributed to comic book shops and they were read, they were put on shelves. So even though this has a lower print run, when people bought it for $19.99 or $29.99, whatever the cover price of this was for the exclusive, they bought it to protect it. It probably came in Mylar. It was really well taken care of, whereas those original covers, you know, they went on the shelves, they got read. That's why there is a difference between exclusive cover print run and regular distribution print runs. Something is Killing the Children #4. So this is the first cameo appearance of Aaron Slaughter. His first full appearance is in issue #6. Just one of my favorite covers because it's all black. It has this glowing fire down in the corner. Just a really awesome cover. I think this is like my 3rd one coming back so far. As you can see, I got one up there on the wall, and I am just not ready to part with any of these. They're just so freaking cool. And as Aaron Slaughter, as most of you know by now, is going to be the main character in the House of Slaughter spin-off new series that's coming from Boom Studios. So this character is definitely going to be developed more. James Tynion's newsletter said that when he was looking at the script for the TV show for Something is Killing the Children, that it was very true to the source material. And so that means that Aaron is definitely going to be in the show. In fact, most of the first appearances in these early issues of Something is Killing the Children, if they indeed are staying true to the source material, most of them are going to show up in the show. So that's really exciting. Something is Killing the Children number 5. This had copies ordered by retailers somewhere around 15,000. It's the first cameo appearance of the Old Dragon. It's the first cameo appearance of Cecilia Slaughter, and it's the first full appearance of Beyond. So, you know, again, if they stay true to the source material, all of those characters are going to show up. This is going to be a very significant book. And the cover, I mean, my goodness, is that one of the coolest covers. One of the hardcover collected editions that's coming out soon for Something's Killing the Children is going to have this cover, and it's going to be absolutely epic. In fact, Anti-Hero Gallery, I believe, is the one who secured it. So if you guys aren't following Anti-Hero Gallery, go give him a follow on Instagram, and he's got a website and everything, because it's going to be a limited print run. He's going to have signed and remarked versions available, I believe, and it's definitely going to be an awesome, awesome collected edition to own. All right, Something is Killing the Children, number 6. This is the first full appearance of Aaron Slaughter, and it's a print run of 14,000. So it's a smaller print run than issue number 4, and it's the first full appearance of Aaron Slaughter. So this will definitely be the money book for Aaron Slaughter. There's also a 1 per store version of this, which is a virgin version of this cover here. And this is also the first full appearance of Cecilia Slaughter. Number 7, and this is the first preview of Wind, another James Tynion title that is rumored to be made into a show. Just everything that man touches right now is turning to gold, and he's just creating some of the most epic content ever. That's what is significant about this. In addition to an awesome cover, low print run, it's got that first preview appearance of Wind. And number 8, this is just an awesome Werther Dell'Edera cover, early Something is Killing the Children. Number 9, this is an epic cover. I love this cover. Really dark front and back cover, makes it difficult to get in high grade. Like every tick shows up on this. And it's also the first cameo appearance of Jessica Slaughter, who is introduced in earnest in issue number 16. Number 15, the Trinity Comics Zoe Lachey Virgin exclusive cover. Holy smokes. This is just one of the most incredible pieces of art. Just look at the detail of this cover. Is just absolutely incredible. Limited to 500 copies. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 95, the second print. And this is the first appearance of Jennika as a Ninja Turtle. Don't sleep on Jennika, you guys. I have high hopes for her character. And what's really awesome about this book is the front cover here is done by Ben Bishop, and then the back cover, bam, Kevin Eastman goodness, that classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style. Well, why in the world they didn't make this the front cover and the front cover the back cover, I do not know. But that's one of the beautiful things about having it in a slab is you can look at both sides. So definitely the best thing going for this book is this classic back cover by Kevin Eastman. All right, and now we have my sob story. So for those of you that follow me over on Instagram, you know that I recently purchased a Fantastic Four Annual number 2 in a CGC 8.0. It's the origin of Doctor Doom. It's Fantastic Four Annual number 2. It's from 1964. I mean, it is just an absolutely incredible piece of comic book history. I kind of overstretched myself and paid $2,430 for the book, and it had an old case, an old CGC case. And so the way I saw it, I had 3 options with the book. One, I could keep it as is, and I didn't want to do that because it was in a really old case. The case wasn't sealed correctly. The book was moving around a little bit in the case. It could incur damage, and I didn't like the way it looked. So keeping it as is wasn't an option. The second option I had is I could have sent it in the CGC in the case and had them reholder it. And I was afraid to do that because it was graded 20 years ago, all right? And I wasn't sure if it had incurred any damage inside the case. When they do a reholder of a book, they don't just automatically give it the same grade because damage can occur to the book inside of the case. Say you bought a book and you put it in a windowsill for 20 years and direct sunlight hit it for 20 years. It's totally washed out. It's definitely no longer the grade that it says on the label. Likewise, if you get an old case and the case is damaged and the book is moving around and it incurs some damage inside, it's no longer the grade that it is is on the label. That's just the way it is. So when they crack it open, they have to reevaluate it and make sure that it hasn't incurred any damage inside the case. In addition to that, I could see through the case that the book was really dirty. It had obviously never been pressed or cleaned. It had some pressable defects. Just cleaning some of the dirt that was on the book, I thought could give it at least a half a grade point bump. So what I decided to do was send it to a professional cleaner to clean and press the book, and resubmit it to CGC just as a whole new book, and grade it that way. Well, sent it to this guy, and I'm not going to put him on blast because I just don't think that it's classy. I don't think anybody is going to benefit from that, and I don't want to start a bunch of drama. But I sent it to this guy that, he came highly recommended. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. He definitely talked a good game, and he cleaned the book, sent it back to me, and he damaged the book. He damaged the book around several of the corners, and I resubmitted it, and it came back a 7.0. So I bought it as an 8.0. It came back a 7.0. And so I reached out to him and I contacted him and said, what do you have to say about this damage around the corners? Like what happened? And he basically kind of skirted the question. He didn't fully admit to it. He said he'd have to look at his images when he got back. So I sent him some images. I sent him before and after images of the book that clearly show, like, this is how it looked inside the case. This is how it looked outside the case. Like, you clearly did damage to this. And he ended up getting back to me later with this lengthy, litigious, like 3-page email, just with every lie and spineless kind of trying to cover his tracks possible. And then at the end of the email, he offers to reimburse me $550. And so in so doing, which is what I ended up doing, is taking a $550 refund from him. I mean, in giving me $550, he's absolutely admitting guilt. And it's undeniable that he caused the damage. Absolutely undeniable. The before pictures show that it was clearly, not damaged around the corner. The after pictures show that it was. So he knows that he damaged the book. I know that he damaged the book, and that's why he gave me a partial refund. And so here's the thing: it's somewhere between $1,000 to a $1,500 hit, and just the grade difference between an 8.0 and a 7.0, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. And the hit to this isn't so much about the money for me. It's the fact that this book is so incredibly rare. I believe there's only 43 copies at an 8.0 or higher. Now there's 42. And they just never come up for sale. They just never do. And especially now with Fantastic Four right around the corner from coming to the MCU and the potential for Doctor Doom to show up, like, collectors aren't really chomping at the bit to get rid of their copies they're holding right now. They're not coming to market. And the fact is that 8.0, had it been cleaned without the damage around the corners, likely would have been an 8.5 or a 9.0 on a good day. So the bigger hit is the loss of potential that it could have been in my collection. And again, it's not about the money. This was a forever book for me. This was something to keep in the PC. And now I can't even look at this book. I'm so emotionally invested in it. And it's because of the way that he handled it. When I sent him the book, I signed a hold harmless agreement. I said that I will hold him 100% harmless. If he damages the book, he is not liable. This is a risky endeavor. And I signed off on that. And I know that I signed off on that. When I contacted him, I said, hey, I know I signed the release of liability, the hold harmless agreement, but that said, you damaged the book. Like, can you offer me anything? And he did. Which I think it was the right thing to do. If he had said, hey, you signed a hold harmless, and I'm really sorry about this. I damaged the book, but I can't give you a refund. That's what the hold harmless is for. I would have respected him for that. I would have been able to say, you know what? Chalk this up to a learning lesson. Everybody makes mistakes. It's really unfortunate, and just move on from it, right? If he had just manned up, admitted his mistake, and we could all just move on. But the fact that he lied so many times and went litigious about it, and it just leaves such a bad feeling in your mouth when you're wronged like that, when somebody isn't honest, so somebody doesn't own up to their mistakes. And so I can't even look at this book anymore without thinking of that, without having that association with it. And the thing of it is is this is a fantastic spec book. It's a 7.0, Fantastic Four Annual #2. Dr. Doom is an incredible spec character right now. I mean, somebody would be, I recommend picking this book up as a spec, even if it's not this copy, but I am going to list it over on my website for $1,700. And if you use that discount code for 15% off, I think that brings it down to about $14.50, which is an absolute steal for this book. And you'd be doing me a favor because you'd be helping me just move on from this. Just take the loss, because I am going to take a huge loss on this, and just be able to move on, completely erase this from my memory, because I do not want to be reminded of this experience ever again. The other option is, if it doesn't sell right away, I might just put it away in a box where I don't have to look at it and wait for some kind of confirmation about Dr. Doom, where I expect this book to spike dramatically when we get confirmation of Dr. Doom. So that's it, guys. It's definitely a risk. Anytime you crack a slab, you're taking a risk. And anytime you sign a hold harmless, you have no recourse. That's just, it is what it is. So it's something definitely to consider. Think about that risk. And that's, I think, the takeaway lesson from this for me is, I don't think I would have done anything differently, right? I mean, I definitely would have still tried to clean it because it needed it. I had every reason to believe that he knew what he was doing. He just screwed up. And mistakes happen. And that's what happened here. I think the lesson is, when you're going to crack a book, especially a very expensive book, play the tape through. What happens if it gets damaged? And can you take that loss? Can you live with that loss? And if you can, do it. And I would have done the same thing. It just sucks that it happened. That's it for this video, you guys. Don't forget to use that code FLASH15 for 15% off everything in stock on the site. Sign up for that newsletter at brycecomics.com, and you're entered to win a free slab every single month, and you get early access to discounts and things like that. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bryce Comics.